This is an AI-generated podcast based on the article From Caracas to Cambridge, How Dora Ocanto Gomez Unlocked Her Career at Harvard, written by April. The article link is in the show notes. Dora, welcome to Kingdom Factor Collective. I am really glad you're here today.
Thank you so much, April. It's a joy to be here and just to share what the Lord has done. Sometimes I still can't believe the journey myself.
So let's start right at the beginning, because the origin story here it's remarkable. You left Venezuela in 2014 thinking you'd be gone 3 months. You didn't even say a proper goodbye to people, and then you just couldn't go back. What was that season actually like?
It was disorienting, honestly. I had a career I was proud of, a life I had built, and then almost overnight, the airline routes were shut down, and I'm standing in Boston thinking, okay, now what? I wasn't prepared for this at all. But here's what's wild. Before I ever left Venezuela, something prompted me to apply for a student visa instead of a tourist visa. I had no real reason for it. And that visa, it came back approved for 5 years, not 12 weeks, 5 years. That is not the norm. That's the Lord preparing the way before I even knew I needed it.
That's incredible. I mean, a door opened before you even knew there was a door. And then during that season of uncertainty, you met your husband. You had options, Venezuela, a Nestle job in Panama, and you chose Boston. Can you unpack what that decision meant spiritually for you?
Yeah, it wasn't a clean, clear spiritual moment at the time. My husband had grown up in the church, and through his faithfulness, just his patient, consistent faithfulness, I slowly came to the Lord. I was baptized in 2016, 2 years after arriving. And what I can tell you is that everything that followed in my career, in my life, it really pivots from that moment.
So, between arriving and being baptized, you were working as a nanny, and you had come from a middle management position at Nestle, one of the largest companies in the world. That's a significant drop in status. How did you navigate that?
The Lord humbled me. And I say that without bitterness. I really mean it. I was living out of pride. I knew who I was professionally, and I wore it. And then, suddenly, I'm starting from zero. But you know what shifted things? I stopped grasping. I started saying, Lord, thank you for everything you have provided. I looked around and saw people who desperately wanted to leave their country and couldn't. And I thought, He gave me the chance to be here. That gratitude, that shift from entitlement to thankfulness, that's when my career took off again. Almost immediately after my baptism, things started moving.
That's interesting. So, humility wasn't just a spiritual posture for you, it was almost like a prerequisite for the next chapter professionally.
Exactly, right? And I think so many of us in the professional world, we've been trained that you climb, you achieve, you announce, but I learned it's not where you work, it's what you do. I now work at Harvard Business School, and when people ask, I often just say, I work in finance, because the lesson is real. The title isn't the thing.
I love that. Okay, so you're at Harvard now, which, is one of the most secular academic environments you could be in. And I know when you started there were voices telling you to shrink your faith, to keep it quiet. What did you do instead?
I didn't hide it. I have scripture on my office walls. I have a sign that says, whatever you do it that you bloom with grace. I don't announce my faith loudly, but people know I know Christ through integrity, through showing the love of God, through doing the right things. And what I found was Christians are everywhere, even at Harvard. The Lord connected me with colleagues who pray, who believe, who walk the same campus. You just have to have the discernment to know when to speak and the courage to show your faith without shame.
That's such a practical framework, and I want to touch on one more story because it really illustrates something. When you and your husband were trying to buy a home in the Massachusetts market, not exactly the most affordable place, you moved in with your in-laws, 2 young kids, a small apartment, and you were there for 1 week?
1 week. We signed the papers on December 22nd, and the decision going in was, let's let the Lord take control. With humbleness, we're going to be grateful. He's going to help us. And when you do it with a humble heart, when you stop controlling, things happen. Does that make sense? It's not passive. It's an active surrender, and the fruit of it was real, and it was fast.
Active surrender. I think that's going to stay with me. Dora, as we wrap up, what's the one thing you'd say to a Christian professional right now who's in a secular workplace, maybe feeling like they need to keep their faith in a box?
Find your people. Don't stop looking for them. Pray for the right people to come to you because Christians are everywhere and the Lord will make the connection. And just trust, believe, and find a healthy community. That's what carries you. He already opened the door. Walk through it with humility.
Dora Ocanto Gomez, thank you so much for sharing your story today. It's one of those conversations that just sticks. For everyone listening, the full article this episode is based on is linked in the show notes. I really encourage you to read it. And if this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. We'll see you next time on Kingdom Factor Collective.